Good morning, everybody. I hope everybody is fine this morning. It's a lovely sunny morning down here in Tauranga, so I can't complain, and it looks like the weather will hold for the weekend. But this morning, although I'm alone, I'm not going to be alone for long. We've asked Aniska from Sterling Finance to join us this morning. Aniska, good morning.
Morning, Jan.
How are you in this lovely morning?
Good. It's a fresh morning in Auckland, sunny as well. So,
Oh,
yes.
that's always good if it's sunny, eh?
Yes.
Always.
Mhm.
Aniska, give us a quick layout of what you guys are doing.
Okay, so we are Sterling Finance. We assist anybody, not only just new South Africans coming over, but any local as well, with small asset finance. So vehicles, jet skis, boats, trailers. For those who like camping, we do camping trailers and caravans as well.
4x4s?
4x4s as well. And we also do small personal loans, whether you're on a visa or obviously if you're a local as well, a citizen.
Okay. So between the cars and the loans, you guys keep busy.
We keep busy, which is good.
I've got a few questions that I see pop up normally on the internet and questions that people are asking. One of the big questions is, can a new immigrant drive around in New Zealand on his South African license?
Yes, the answer is yes. So normally how it works is it's valid for 12 months on New Zealand roads. And then by then they have to have converted to the New Zealand driver's license. So it is valid for 12 months. So also the banks and the finance companies, they also accept the international license, obviously if it's within the 12-month period.
So must it be a South African license or an international license?
No, it can be a South African driver's license, yes. The banks just refer to it as an international driver's license, but it's obviously South African or Zimbabwean license or
So for people arriving in New Zealand, I mean, the first thing they arrive, they jet lag like crazy, so that they're stupid. I mean, I think I was feeling at that stage. How did
yes.
they go about to get a vehicle on arrival? Because it's rather important to have some transport when you are here.
Yes, that's right. So most people, because with the finance companies and loans, they obviously need the customer will require a New Zealand bank account. Because when they sign the credit agreement with the financier, then they need to have a bank account in New Zealand for the direct debit to run. So that's the most important thing. I know a lot of people, when they're still in South Africa, they open up their bank account online, but they can only activate it once they're here in person. So once that's done, then it's literally a day, and then everything is sorted. So a lot of the customers in South Africa, they start looking around for vehicles whilst they're still there. And then when they arrive here, it's easier because then they know, okay, this is the type of vehicle I want. I've seen a few at this place, and then it's just easier once the bank account's activated to finalize the transaction.
Okay. So if I sit there in Pretoria, there in my mansion before leaving for New Zealand, can I decide on which car I want and buy it, and you guys can finance it, and then I can get on the plane and I can come and get my car down here?
Well, yes, most of the dealers. So just so you know, with Sterling Finance, we can obviously assist whether it's whether the customer's purchasing a vehicle from the dealer or whether it's a private sale.
Okay.
Now, when they're in Pretoria in their mansion and they have a look online and they see something they quite like at a dealership, I don't know how long the dealer will actually keep that vehicle for them. Because if somebody walks onto the dealer today and they want to purchase it, they're not going to wait for the customer to come from Africa. So, in short, is they are able to put a holding deposit down, but they might lose that if something doesn't finalize with their visa or something like so it is risky, but it is possible. But they have to be on New Zealand soil to sign the physical credit agreement for the funds to be dispersed to the seller.
Okay. So I can't sign it while I'm sitting in Pretoria.
No, you have to physically be here.
All right. But the places where you get the money from, don't they want stuff like payslips and that?
So with we deal with a few lenders. Some of them are quite
That's
strict.
the word I was lacking now. Lenders.
So some of the lenders are strict, and they, with the responsible lending laws in New Zealand, they require a 3 months bank statement, which obviously makes it difficult for newcomers that can't supply 3 months bank statements. But some of the finance companies who we deal with, the lenders, they don't. They will accept a signed employment agreement.
Okay.
Which we can.
So there is hope. There is hope. I don't have to wait for 3 months.
Yes, it makes it a little bit more difficult because there's not, many options out there. That's cheap, but it is possible. That's what we do.
All right. So I arrive normally in the middle of the night in New Zealand. Then I go to sleep for a few hours. Then I go to see the bank. How do I get from my hotel where I've been sleeping for a few hours to the bank and then to wherever the dealer is and so forth?
So, well, obviously we're based in Auckland. We do service the whole of New Zealand though with finance.
Okay.
But if customers fly into Auckland, we do have the option for a loan vehicle. It is booked out, but I mean, if you make a booking prior and we book one for you, it's easy then to hop into one of our loan vehicles, and then you can use it free of charge if you obviously use our finance for a few days until you find your own vehicle.
Okay, that's nice. That's nice.
Yes.
So, other question I've seen people ask a lot: the term that they can repay this loan. How long can that be for?
So I know a lot of the people coming over at the present moment, their visas are a 3-year term.
Yeah.
But we are able to do a 5-year term for them.
You can do a 5-year term for a person on a 3-year visa.
That's right. Correct.
Okay, that's a bit better for them, or more affordable, can I say?
Yes, that's the thing. It does help, yes. And they can buy a better type of vehicle and pay it over 5 years.
Guys, if anybody's got any questions, please pop them on any of the channels. I will see them. I can just pop this one up here. This is not a question. It's just saying Sterling is great. Have vehicle finance through them. So somebody loves you.
Thank you.
I've got a question as a man. So what type of car do you finance the most?
Well, that's quite an interesting topic, because a lot of the new South Africans coming into New Zealand, they're quite set in the Volkswagen
okay.
mindset.
Which is quite hard, eh?
Yes, it is quite hard. I mean, especially in New Zealand, the European vehicles are they're actually quite dangerous to purchase, with their parts being so expensive. I think because New Zealand's so isolated, their parts are very expensive to come from Europe to New Zealand. Whereas in South Africa, it was quite easy to get your hands on Volkswagen parts, but here it's quite expensive. So a lot of people still stick to Volkswagen, whereas we do explain to them it's your choice, whatever you want to buy, but it is an expensive buy here in New Zealand. Interesting.
I just got to put something out there from you guys. Sterling Finance is the people that sponsors the South African singers that arrive. I know you guys have given a vehicle now for Louis Brits that have arrived, I think yesterday or so. And previously was Apple and all those guys that was here. They drove around with your vehicles and your trailers and so forth. So you guys are big on sponsoring South Africans. You're big on helping the community. So from my side, I want to say thank you. And I know if Mariska was here this morning, she would have said from Labyrinth for Lemonade side as well, thank you for every time you guys are sponsoring any of the women events. I know you guys have just been given freely, so it helps a lot for the new immigrants to be able to get something back, if that is the right word down there. Yeah, but they just feel I feel welcome, and it's a good thing to give back to the community, I think. And you guys have been doing a sterling job about that. So
yes, no, I must say we really care about we know how we felt when we arrived from South Africa. So if we can make it a little bit better and easier, we try and do that.
Yeah. What else do you guys offer new immigrants?
Well, we do have a soft landing accommodation as well in Auckland. Again, it's quite fully booked at this stage, and which we're thankful for, because a lot of people, are coming to New Zealand, which is good.
Yeah.
So we do have that option as well. So again, it's depending on whether they use our finance or not, we can negotiate the rate. It is also our offices. So during the day, we work in one part of the property, and then the rest of the rooms are obviously available for soft landing.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So they can get the bed and the car from you guys.
Yes.
Other question, I know there's a lot of stories out there. If I arrive with my South African driver's license, how do I convert it?
Well, you'll have to, obviously, I know that they at the AA, I know a lot of people go to the AA, and then they complete the documents there. Then you get the temporary paper one, and then they post it out to your physical address once it's ready, which a lot of South Africans can't believe that they actually post it out to you. Whereas
It works.
yeah, and you actually receive it.
There's got something on one of the other channels. Sorry, I can't pop that on the screen, but Ilse Dreyer saying the Sterling Finance ladies are awesome. Vanita Herben saying good morning to you. So good morning, Vanita. Yeah, it's always interesting when the newbies arrive on the island. So
yes, and we seem to forget because we've been here quite a number of years, so we seem to forget that it's, for us, it's the norm to get something in the post and it actually arrives. So yeah, especially at the supermarket, where you pay yourself, they don't understand. That's really amazing.
And we tend to forget so quickly where we come from. So
yes,
and what it is like there, and it's actually getting worse than what we remember it. So yeah.
No, you're right.
Just a question, I think they haven't listened yet. Can you finance a car in New Zealand while you're still in South Africa?
So the thing is, the pre-approval is only valid for a certain number of days. It varies with different lenders. So if you are on your way to New Zealand, I'd say we have to get the timing right so that it doesn't expire by the time you arrive. So yes, you can, but you need to plan it so that it doesn't actually expire, because then we have to resubmit the application again.
Can I get a pre-approval? Sorry to chip in. Can I get a pre-approval for a set amount of money?
So you can get a pre-approval once again, but you'll have to be in New Zealand to actually sign that credit agreement.
Okay.
You have to be.
I can get the pre-approvals, let's say, for $20,000 before I even know what car I want, just to get me an idea of where I am.
Correct. But again, you have to be here to actually physically sign the credit agreement.
And I mean, then I can just take that to the dealer and say, this is what I've got. What have we got?
Yes. And again, to connect to that question, if you activate, you have obviously open up your bank account while you're still in South Africa. But when you get here, you can only activate your account, which the lender will require for your direct debit to run. So it's kind of like two things that are quite important.
And something that South Africans don't understand is if you walk into the bank to verify your bank account, they are going to tell you to come back in about 3 or 4 weeks because they want to make an appointment with you.
Yes.
It just got to be haragat. That's a South African word. Haragat, and say, I want to see somebody now.
I'm here now. Yes. No, that's true.
What I did is when we arrived, I went to the nearest one, which presumably is not in one of the best suburbs, down near the airport. I walked in and I said, no, they can't help me. So I said to them, look and see where you can get me an appointment. And they actually got me an appointment for 2 hours later, totally on the different side of Auckland.
But you went.
Yes, I was jet lagged. They're just going. I mean,
no, it's very. I mean, we used to African time, but this island time is so slow.
Island time is actually way worse than Africa time. So,
yes, no, it is.
And they've got this thing. If it's not, it's not.
It is what it is.
All right, here's a good question coming up. Sorry, I can't pop it on the screen. We're running on 8 different Facebook pages at this moment, and one of the pages, my personal page, I cannot share that stuff on the screen. So Vanita is asking, what documents do you need for pre-approval? Must you earn a minimum amount for this?
So with a minimum amount, it will have to be the minimum wage, and most of our newbies coming into New Zealand will be blue collar workers, so it's quite a good wage. With regards to documents, it will be the normal standard documents, which is a visa, passport, driver's license, and then obviously proof of address once you activate your bank account, which goes hand in hand with your bank account.
Okay.
Yes, so that is the most of the documents we require, and then obviously the signed employment agreement. And then for people that's been here for a number of months or years, it's the documents. It's definitely less, which is just driver's license, passport, and then pay slips.
Okay.
And
how many?
No, just one is fine. The latest one they normally ask for, and then once you've been in New Zealand for again a month or more, then the lenders will send out a bank statement link for the customer then to complete. Now, coming from South Africa, a lot of the people don't like this at all, but it is safe. We don't even get to see those statements. It goes straight to the lender, which I think is a bit safer, because a lot of them don't do that, and they prefer emailing us that physical bank statements, which I think is a little bit more riskier. But I mean, it's up to the customer. We can do it that way as well.
That's interesting. And I mean, we bring all our vices from South Africa. We do bring that with, and it takes you years to lose them. I still go every night and check if all my doors are closed.
I love to.
I will never get over that. I just think it's one of those things. So.
No, you're right.
My door has been left open by me by mistake as well in the past. I know, but yeah. Right. Another question coming in. What happens if you lose your job within 6 months? How does this affect the borrower?
So there's the option where the borrower can obviously contact the lender and apply for what they call a hardship. So they will give them some leeway. However, it does reflect on your credit history. So it's not ideal, but I mean, it does happen and life happens. So they deal with it. So it is you can make an arrangement.
And if I've got a problem, can I come to you and say, and you can organize with a lender or not?
That's right. So what we do is, and actually it happens every day, where because I think with especially the South African market, because we speak their language and because we assisted them with the whole transaction, they always first come back to us, and then we will guide them and say, okay, send me an email in English, and then I will forward it on and CC you into the email. So we do assist them with those type of things, because it is overwhelming.
Yeah, for some people, English is not a very good language.
Yes, that's right.
All right, let's see what other questions was there. So the question was, can you guys help residents and citizens as well? And I think we've answered that question. So you can help everybody, basically.
Yes, correct.
What about somebody who's got bad debt in South Africa?
They don't do any checks on that here in New Zealand. So you'll start with a fresh new credit score.
Okay. So even if I was a bad boy in South Africa, I can buy a vehicle down here.
Yes.
Nobody's going to ask bad questions about that.
No.
Well, uncomfortable questions. Yeah.
No, nobody.
I've heard you guys have got a startup package. What's that?
So startup package, what that would entail is a lot of people, when they come over to New Zealand, they'll obviously want to buy a vehicle, and then what we offer is a small personal loan on top of that vehicle, so that you can actually purchase or furniture, or a lot of people will use it on the bond for their rental property.
Okay.
It's just a small cash portion that on top of your vehicle to actually just get started up in New Zealand.
Because a lot of South Africans, and I'm just talking about the South Africans that I see, they arrive here with virtually nothing. And I mean, you got to contend with whatever you've got in South Africa. You've got to divide that by 10 or 11 these days just to get any money out in New Zealand, and that's rather hectic. So
no, it is. That's correct. And a lot of people, they leave everything behind, and they literally come with their suitcases.
It is.
So not everybody is fortunate enough to bring everything to New Zealand. So this is that startup package helps just to get you up and running and actually pay the deposit or the bond, and buy some furniture and stuff.
It's always interesting when I go to new clients. Sometimes I have to take my own chair. So
yes, paper plates.
and they all feel so bad about it. And I mean,
We all
say, well, guys, don't worry. I've seen it many times. I was fortunate enough to be able to live in a Airbnb until my container arrived.
Yeah, that helps.
That year's houses was easier to get. It's still expensive, but it was easier to get a rental. So
yes, no, you're right. So that startup package really helps for that kind of thing.
It is. And I mean, it's difficult if you move into your first house and you haven't got beds, you haven't got anything. And I mean, it's expensive.
Yes,
it's very expensive. Yeah. So
I remember we were in blow up mattresses when we arrived.
That's the last time in your life you will use a blow up mattress. Like. Yes, it's a big thing that. You guys are also from South Africa. I just want to put it out there that you can speak Afrikaans, and you got a sister called Yolandi, and you two are the owners of the business. Is that right?
We are, yes.
All right. Somebody just asking, could I do finance for my PTE English test?
Well, obviously it depends how much it is, but the minimum loan will be $3,000.
Okay,
that's the minimum, because obviously the lender has got costs to draw up the physical contract, so that's why that's the minimum amount. That's if you're on a visa. If you're a resident, then the minimum is 1,000.
Okay. So Joan Labuskachni, that is the answer. The minimum is 3,000. If you're a resident, it's 1,000. So some guys just like to write the PTE English test about 50 times, I've heard. So
yes, no, it is a difficult one. Luckily, we didn't have to do it back then.
Oh, myself as well. I was also thinking I was so lucky because the week after we got our week after our application, the English test came in.
To play. Yes.
So
yes,
I would have probably struggled like crazy. Here's a question for you. Can you please give us an indication on what interest rates are approved?
Yes, so at the moment, with the interest rate, obviously it's gone up quite a few times. So the going rate at the moment, and this will be for residents and citizens as well, is around the 12.95, 13.95% at the moment.
Okay.
So there's quite, well, obviously because we've been used to for the lower interest rates for quite a number of years, it is quite high at the moment. There were talks that it will go up again once more before it starts dropping. So we'll see with the new government as well. I think there's a lot of factors that we need to, look out for at the moment.
The big thing is once your interest rate is gone, let's say you sign up at 12.5. I'm just taking 12.5 now, and it goes up. Will your interest rate go up as well?
No.
Once it starts dropping?
No, it will stay that amount or that rate for the
12.5. It's 12.5 for the period.
Correct. That's right. Okay. Unless there is a clause in the lender's credit agreement that if they default on any payments, the lender has got the right to actually adjust the rate, and obviously it won't be lower. They'll push it up.
Just upwards.
Yes, but we've never had that. I must say, I've never had our customers that's luckily not.
It's interesting. It's interesting, the interest rate. I think a lot of people are getting hammered with that. It was unexpected, and it just went up and up and up and up.
Yes.
Especially in the house market, we went from 2 point something to 6.99 or something like that. It's crazy. So
no, it is. I think with COVID and as well as the government, I think that had a big.
Oh yeah.
On there.
But eventually, it will come down again. Nobody knows exactly when, so it's always a bit of a
Yes.
gamble. But yeah, what happens if it goes down significantly? And I feel I've been in this high interest rate of 12.5 now for a year, but it's gone down to, let's say, 8. How do I get out of this? Do I
Well,
refinance?
you can refinance,
Okay.
obviously, but we'll have to see if it's liable, because if you only have a few months left on
Yeah.
there, I don't think you have to, it's not advisable, because then you have to sign again and then the interest again. Yeah. So I
But if
think
you've
it's,
got 4 years left or something, then it's probably a good idea to.
yes, then we can look at it.
Yeah. So, quick question: what is the most expensive car you've ever financed?
Car or caravan, because caravan was about 80,000
Okay.
and
Okay.
car was, I think it was 110, but they did put a deposit down.
All right. So, what type of car was this?
A Tesla.
Really? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I would never buy a Tesla. So, but at least the guys that owns Teslas is going to pay rocks as well now. I see.
Yes.
No freebies anymore. So, yeah. All right. Any last? Let's see. There's no other questions came through. No. Just Aniska Viljoen saying, my wife, thank you so much for everything you do for the South Africans in New Zealand.
Dankie, Mariska.
Okay. Any other last words of wisdom from your side?
No, I just think, the minute you arrive in New Zealand, the first thing, normally that you need will be wheels to get around. And if we can help in any way, then let us know. We can help you.
Yeah. And I think, guys, if from my personal experience and what I think about life, I think to make contact with you guys while those people are still in South Africa is probably a good idea. Then
Yes.
they know exactly what they are in for on this side, and they know what documents to have ready.
Mm.
So
Yeah, it does help. And then we can obviously monitor the day they arrive and make sure that the pre-approval is in place. And then it's literally just activating the bank account.
yeah, and then arriving in the middle of the night and having a soft landing, as they call it, and a loan vehicle, that's also a good deal for me.
Yes,
So,
that helps.
yeah, it helps a lot. All right. Any last words from you?
No, I'm good. Thank you. Thanks for having us, Jan.
No, it's all good. It's always fun to have new people on the show. So this was your first time, so it didn't go too badly.
No.
All right. I was going to pop you out while I say goodbye, and then I'll get back to you.
Thanks, Jan.
Right. Aniska, thank you very much. As that was Aniska from Sterling Finance. They are one of the leading finance providers in New Zealand for new immigrants. And you can make contact with them coming straight from South Africa, either while arriving or before the time, and they could get you a pre-approval, and you could see exactly what you can buy for and what you can't buy for. So having a car in New Zealand, I think, is a half of a must. So that's one of those things that I would say to everybody is get a car, get it as soon as possible, because to rely on public transport could probably get you stuck somewhere along the line, especially when you come into a new country. It's quite difficult to get around if you don't know where you are going and where the suburbs are and so forth. I was just thinking about my first time that I arrived here. Yes, it was hectic. I didn't even know where I have to be and where I've got to be the next day and so forth. It just didn't make sense to me. Plus, you're so jet lagged. You've got the duck cop thing, and then you got to still uh, navigate your way all around. Luckily, Google Maps work here, but if there's somebody that can take your hand, why not use them? All right, guys and girls, that's my last words for you. I'll see you next week, same time, same place.